Hey everybody, Pastor Zach here, and today I want to talk to you about a word that's been floating around for a long time, but I want to hit it right on the head, and that is the idea of something being canceled, right? It seems like this year, 2020, has been the year of cancellations. I remember back when quarantine started, and I was like, okay, is this going to be, like, what's going on here? And then the NBA canceled. Then, like, the MLB and the Reds, they canceled. Then one of my favorite events got postponed, the Indianapolis 500. School got canceled. Church closed down, and the people began to cancel services. There's been canceling of vacations, canceling of plans, right? Last week going into Monday, I had a whole bunch of stuff planned for this summer, like concerts and things of family, and a lot of those got canceled. One of the things that Amanda and I were looking forward to was a Backstreet Boys concert. Yes, a Backstreet Boys concert. I'm a huge fan, and it got canceled. And we're just like, okay, well, I guess 2020 is officially canceled. And as we go into summer, and this thing has gone longer than we probably assumed it was going to, and has been going farther than a lot of us assumed, we can become very resentful. And we can become very angry. Some of you guys might be getting frustrated or upset. Maybe maybe you're one of the people who are just loving this time. You got like all the time in the world now, and now that school's over, you're just looking forward to an entire summer of doing nothing, sleeping, whatever. Well, I'm here to challenge that today, because ultimately I believe that with all of the stuff getting canceled, a big question is why. And not just why is it being canceled? We know why it's being canceled. But why is God allowing this? Why is God doing this? And my question to that is, what does he want us to do with this time that we have? Because God didn't just create for us and to just waste time. In fact, I believe that if we're going to get through this time of cancellations and everything's been canceled, well, then this is an opportunity that we have that we might never get again. And so I just want to talk about a couple of things when it comes to this. The first one is really figuring out what we're going to do with this time. What are you going to do with this time? As I said, God didn't just give us this time to be lazy and lay around and sleep a bunch and get up and video game it up all day, or just turn on Netflix and just binge watch it. He didn't give us that time. You can use that time to do that. But what could he be doing and talking about, to really give us, why would he give us this time? Look what the book of Ephesians has to say.
Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is.
As we embrace this new reality, we have to understand that God is giving us this time in order to not only grow closer to him, but possibly even take care of ourselves in this process as well. So here's just a couple of suggestions of what you can do with this time. One is take walks. We love to take walks as a family. We have a neighborhood where we can just do a big circle. It's a little over a mile, and we do it almost daily. Just go for a walk, enjoy the sounds of nature, enjoy seeing our neighbors and just seeing people as they're out and about. And I feel like a lot of people have been doing this, going on walks as families or with friends or whatever. In fact, there was one day where I was driving through a neighborhood, and if there wasn't close to 100 people out, I would be shocked. I mean, everybody was out, because as the weather warms up and as it becomes more beautiful, this is an opportunity that you can have to just go out and enjoy God's creation. The second is maybe you need to work on yourself physically. This could be an easy time to just binge and gorge a bunch of snacks and unhealthy stuff. Or maybe God's saying, hey, maybe you should take this time and kind of focus on your physical health too. But let's not talk about walks and physical health. Let's talk about spiritual health for a second. What are you going to do with this time spiritually? Are you going to start praying more? Maybe you're going to start reading scripture. We've had a couple series talking about that. Maybe if you're a big reader, you're going to put away one of your fictional books and pick up a book about spiritual leadership or something that kind of specifically about Jesus or God or faith in order to help grow you more spiritually. Whatever it is, you can use this time to really, to your benefit, to grow more spiritually during this season. The second thing I want to talk to you about is honoring authority. The book of Ephesians actually says this too.
Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise.
Right? You may be in a house right now where things are just tense. You're frustrated with your parents. They're frustrated at you. But God says, you know what? We need to honor our parents. So how are we going to do that? Well, here's a couple of suggestions. One is show them grace. Whatever you're going through during this time of cancellations, I guarantee you they're going through this time of cancellations as well. In fact, because, just because you're going through something doesn't mean they're not. Because they've had to cancel plans, they've had to cancel vacations, they've had to cancel time off, they've had to work from home, they've had to adjust to a new way of living. And they're going through a lot of the same stuff you are, just in a different chapter, in a different stage of life. So show them grace. Second, this could be a fun thing for you to do, is make a meal for them. Right? Take some time and say, you know what? You do a lot. I'm going to make a meal for you. And you know what? It could be chicken nuggets in a microwave. I bet they won't care, right? You don't have to be a world-class chef. Because ultimately, if you say, hey, I'm in charge of dinner tonight, I don't think they're going to look at you and go, no, get out of here. Like, you're a terrible cook. In fact, we just got back from my parents. And one night they're like, hey, we want to grill out. So I went ahead and just volunteered to do that. And so I grabbed the meat out and I started grilling. And they didn't have to do anything. And they were just like, what's going on right now? Like, this is so incredibly weird. And because they've had to cook for themselves for the last couple of months, and to have somebody come in and just do that for them, it was a huge blessing, right? You could take that same concept and just like go around and say, hey, what are some things that need done around the house? Okay. They probably won't say, well, go repair the, water heater. They're not going to do that. But well, hopefully they don't do that. But maybe they just have some small, simple chores or some things that you can do around the house to just help them because they're busy too. Maybe you need to bring them in on a hobby or start a hobby together, whether that is inviting them to play video games or maybe reading through the same book together. Maybe it is like learning to cook together or bake together. Whatever that hobby could be, whether it's like crafting or any of that, this could be a really cool opportunity for you and your parents to really bond together during this time. And the third thing that I think is going to get us through this entire time of cancellation and all of this stuff that's going on is really counting the blessings and focusing on the blessings. Look what the book of Romans has to say.
And we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose.
There is good that is going to come out of this. In fact, there's probably good that's already coming out of this. Because maybe this is a time where you're getting yourself back into balance, right? Between your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health. You're just balancing yourself out in the areas that might be weak, right? And maybe this is a real opportunity where God is showing you where you're weak and where you need to lean on him the most. Especially as we have times where things may seem lonely, where things seem uncertain. And God is saying, hey, I want you to come to me because I love you and I want to help you through this. I want to guide you through this. But this can be a really great time that you can just get yourself balanced and take care of your needs. Maybe you are so tired from this school year and you just need a time of rest. Maybe you just need a time of just quiet. Maybe you just need a time where you need to reconnect with your family or certain relationships. And this is the time to do that, right? But ultimately, this is a time that we can use to bless others and serve others. We might have to think outside the box, but I'm up to the challenge. Because ultimately, this time isn't just about us. It isn't about what we want to do and just now we have all the time in the world, right? Because, with everything being canceled and all these plans no longer a thing, you know what? I believe God has a reason for it. And he wants us to grow, he wants us to experience him, and he wants us to serve others and love others well during this time. So what are you going to do? What are some things that you're doing during this time that you weren't doing previously? And what are some things like just really blessings that have come out of this? Let us know, and I'll see you guys next time.